Hello, everyone. So this is video 5 of Astronauts Our Essay. I'm super excited. I know you're thinking like, wow, video 5. But yes, I want to make sure that you understand clearly how to draft your essay. And we're going to do this step by step to ensure that you are able to do it on your own, right? Because remember, fourth grade is coming and you are going to have to be able to do this on your own. So we want to walk you through it, and so you get enough practice so that you'll be able to do this on your own. Okay, so get ready. Bring out your pen or pencil, whichever one you've been using. Your notebook where you're writing down your paragraphs, and of course your articles that we've been reading and we've been taking notes on. So you need all of this to get started. So pause the video so you can go ahead and grab all those materials and meet back here. Let me share my screen with you now. So your assignment was to come up with a hook, right? To come up with a hook and a closing sentence. That was your assignment. Now, I also want to make it clear, my friends, I know you're doing this in your notebook, but make sure you organize it so that you can go back and you're going to be able to retype everything to make it a complete essay, just like you did with your informational essay about animals back at school, okay? So make sure you keep your notebook organized and you title each page, just like I've been telling you. So here is the slide we left off on yesterday. You were supposed to come up with your own hook and a closing sentence. I'll just read the thesis one more time. So our thesis for our essay was, a career as an astronaut is hard work and requires many hours of learning and training, not to mention what an astronaut experiences physically while up in space. That is our thesis, right? That's what we're going to talk about. In our details, we wrote down astronauts have to learn and study many traits, learn how to work together. That was number 2. And astronauts while in space can get sick and experience changes in their body. Okay, those were our 3 things that we're going to include in our essay, and your job was to come up with a closing sentence. Okay, obviously the one I'm going to share with you, because I came up with my hook and my closing sentence, it's going to be different than yours. I'm not asking you to change yours. So if you came up with one, I'm sure it's amazing, but I'm going to share the one I came up with. And if you see or if you feel like you maybe need to do any adjustments to yours, then go ahead and do it. But I'm not asking you to change it, okay? So here's my next slide where it's giving you a complete first paragraph, which is our introduction. Remember, this is going to become our introduction. So our introduction includes a hook, a thesis, the 3 reasons, and a closing sentence. So you see it here, and I even made sure I color coded so that you know where everything is at. And I'll explain after I read it, okay? So I'll start off with my, this is my hook. If you love to float in the air, see the stars up close, and try different types of experiments, becoming an astronaut is a job for you, right? That sounds kind of like catchy if you were reading this. So this is my hook. I have that in white, okay? A career as an astronaut is hard work. So that's my thesis, right? That's part of what we are stating. That's my statement. A career as an astronaut is hard work. In fact, there are many things they need to know, like learn and study many traits. Astronauts need to learn how to work together. Finally, astronauts experience changes to their body while they are up in space. These here are my 3 reasons or details. If we go back to our previous slide, here it is. Astronauts have to learn and study many traits. They learn how to work together, and they experience different changes in their body. These 3 are the ones that I put in my paragraph, the red right here. Okay, perfect. Now, I asked you to come up with your closing sentence. This is my closing sentence. I wrote, these, along with many other things, every astronaut experiences as they prepare to explore our universe. Okay, that's my closing sentence. So that ties everything together. So if you have your paragraph, your first paragraph done, that's amazing. I'm proud of you. You're like on your way. So you should have it in your notebook, something like this. I wrote mine out, right? I wrote mine out, and I'm gonna get ready for my paragraph 2, which you should as well. So I want you to go to the very next page, okay? The one that you have right next to your introduction. And remember to title the top of it, just like I did. I titled it Introduction. It's right here. Okay, so we're done with that one. Let's move on to our paragraph 2. And if you see right here, it says paragraph 2. What does your paragraph 2 include? It includes your reason or detail number 1. Okay, so I'm going to go to my next slide so you can see that. And I want to remind you that we are using our transition words. So I have words here that you can pause the video when you're writing your paragraph, and you can use and pull words from here, okay? So here we go. Paragraph 2, it tells you right here what you need to include. Reason number 1, and you have to start with your reason and use information from both articles, okay? On this first paragraph, I only used my first article as to cite. If you want to use both articles in paragraph 2, you can, but you don't have to, okay? So let me explain to you how I started. I went back to my, my draft, which is this one right here. Astronauts have to learn and study many traits. That is my paragraph. That's going to become my next paragraph. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start with that. Okay. So I'm going to indent and start in order to be the best astronaut there. Oops. And you can copy this because this is going to be part of your essay. If you don't get a chance to copy it right now, make sure when we're done with the video, you can pause it and make sure you copy it, okay? In order to be the best astronaut there is, they first have to do a lot of studying and learning. Let me go back and fix this. Sorry, some typos here. Okay. So I'm already starting with I'll go back to show you. I'm already starting with my first statement here, right? My first detail. Astronauts have to learn and study many traits, right? I'm already adding that. I'm starting it right here. In order to be the best astronaut there is, they first have to do a lot of studying and learning, okay? You can change it up just a little bit. You don't have to exactly write it like it is there. So you can change it up just slightly, okay? So then I'm going to start off with a citation already. So in the article, remember you always have to give the title of the article. The article titled, What is an Astronaut? Okay, that's the name of the title, that's the title of the article. So make sure you write down the title, and of course you want to underline it. Okay, oh, I'll underline it in a second. And then I'm going to move on to the author's name, because if you remember, if you look at the top of your article, the first article, What is an Astronaut? It tells you who wrote it. right? You want to give them credit. And we talked about this in class. You always want to give the writer, the author, the credit because they're the ones that said this, right? So I'm going to write down their name. Thalia Yee describes the many traits and skills they must know. For instance, and I used my my words here. So I grabbed, for instance, this one right here, as showing, instead of saying for example, you can say for instance. For instance, astronauts need to know a lot about the Earth and the stars. See, I was thinking as I was typing, I'm like, I already have all this written down. If you go back to your notes, remember we wrote these notes? If you go back to these notes, everything is here. You have everything that an astronaut needs to know, and we wrote them down right here. We bullet pointed them, right? We wrote down what they needed to know in order to become an astronaut, right? So we already have that information. You can always go back to your notes and pull that information from there. So that's what makes it, and I told you it was gonna get easier and easier to do this if we write down our notes and we do all that heavy lifting at the beginning when we read our article. So it's gonna get a lot easier, guys, okay? So for instance, astronauts need to know a lot about the Earth and the stars, okay? They also need to know and have some knowledge on how to take care of an injured person. Remember, they need to have some medical skills or some medical knowledge, right? In case, some first aid basic knowledge to take care of each other in case they get sick or injured. So I'm including that. Learning how to pilot an airplane and, or I'm gonna say, I can, airplane slash, right? Spaceship. Yeah, I think a slash is okay. Spaceship is one of the many important skills they need to be able to, important skills they need to comprehend, to comprehend, okay? Remember, they need to be able to fly a plane in order to pretty much fly a spaceship, right? They need those skills. Furthermore, because I'm going to tell you more of the other skills that they need to know. So I went back to my transition words and I saw furthermore. Furthermore is something that we can use to add more to what you're saying. So furthermore, they need to be able to repair certain things, whether it's on the spaceship or on their actual suit, right? Because they wear these big, heavy suits that have all these things in order for them to hear, in order for them to communicate with each other. So they need to be ready to repair. If something goes wrong or breaks, they need to be able to repair it. So furthermore, they need to be able to repair certain things to complete their mission. Okay, and I added another closing sentence, my friends, because you want to close your paragraph. So check this one out. I wrote, it's incredible to see to see, I spelled it wrong again, sorry. It's incredible to see how knowledgeable you must be to become an astronaut. And there's my paragraph, right? Let me fix that one. And I'm gonna read it and I want you to really look and see. I want you to clearly listen. Did I include number one? Did I stick to my number one, right? I want you to listen to what I wrote and I want you to think, did she stick to number one or did she include other things that really don't belong there? Like I wanted to make sure that I only talked about the things they need to study and the things they need to know, right? I didn't talk about their body changing. I didn't talk about exercising. I didn't talk about bird legs, right? Because number one says astronauts have to learn and study many traits. That was the only thing I was going to discuss on my paragraph 2. That's the only thing. So I want you to listen. It says, in order to be the best astronaut there is, they first have to do a lot of studying and learning. In the article titled, What is an Astronaut? Talia Yi describes that many traits and skills they must know. Talia Yi describes the many traits and skills they must know. So this is actually the many traits and skills they must know. For instance, astronauts need to know a lot about the Earth and the stars. They also need to know and have some knowledge on how to take care of an injured person. Learning how to pilot an airplane/spaceship is one of the many important skills they need to comprehend. Furthermore, they need to be able to repair certain things to complete their mission. It's incredible to see how knowledgeable you must be to become an astronaut. What do you guys think? Did we stick to number one, where we were only going to discuss that astronauts need to learn many skills? They need to be very knowledgeable of many different things, different traits, not just one thing, right? I think we did it. I think that everything that we wanted to include in there, we also cited, because we wanted to cite from the article, which we did. It's here, right? So that was paragraph number 2. Look at how quick we put that one together, right? Now let's move on to our paragraph number 3. So our paragraph number 3, if you look here, right? Paragraph number 3, it tells you it's reason number 2. Reason number 2, let's go back. Reason number 2 is what? Learn how to work together, right? Learn how to work together. Think back, where did we read that? Did we read that in Article 1 or did we read that in Article 2? If you recall, we read that and it said that they needed to learn how to work together in Article 1, right? So we can go ahead and cite from Article 1, which is what is an astronaut? You can do that. So on your next paragraph, I'm going to set this one up, right? I'll make it larger in a bit to show you, but your next paragraph, which I want you to set up your next page, because we did this one together. Now it's your turn to try, right? To try to do your next paragraph. So I'm gonna add another slide here. See if it lets me. Yep, there it is. So let me go ahead and duplicate this one actually, see if it, I'm not gonna be able to. So on this one, you are going to write paragraph. You know what, guys, I'm gonna have to make this a little larger so I can see. Here you go. I'm gonna write paragraph number 3. Paragraph number 3, I'm going to tell you what it needs to include so you get ready, okay? Paragraph number 3, it's going to have to include, so paragraph number 3 is your reason or your detail number 2, right? Which is, let's go back and check one more time. Learn how to work together. That's what it is. So you're going to include learn how to work together. So in your paragraph that you're going to write, right? In your paragraph, you need to make sure you are including this. Learn how to work together. And don't forget, you need to use and one of the articles, use the article to show, or pretty much evidence, right? You want to show evidence. Where did you get this? Where did you get this information from? Use the article to back up what you're saying. So use article and show evidence. Okay, so we have that there. So that is your job. Okay, let me fix that. Okay, so your job, let's go back and make sure that you know what you are doing. So your job is to write your paragraph number 2. Okay, I'm sorry, paragraph number 3, apologize. On a next clean page, start paragraph number 3, and it has to include learn how to work together. Make sure you include information from your article. Make sure you paraphrase, do not plagiarize, do not copy from the text. Remember, we can't do that. You need to make sure you say it in your own words, or you cite, where you would say in article, it states that, right? You don't want to plagiarize. You don't want to say it and copy from there. You can't. You have to change it up in your own words, okay? So good luck, my friends. I'm sure you can do this. I know you can do this. I'll share my my paragraph with you. What I'm gonna do is, just to help you out, I'm gonna get you started with the starting part. Why don't we do that? So so you don't feel super confused, or maybe hard to, like, what is it? Hard for you to get started. Let's start with the opening sentence, right? Learn how to work together. So we can say, we can start off with, there are many things that are important for astronauts. There are many things that are important for astronauts to be able to do. Learning how to work together is, what do you want to say? Learning how to work together is, and I'm going to leave it like that. So I want you to think about it. I want you to come up with, if you want to change this and you feel like, you know what, I have a better beginning to this, go for it. I might even change it when I start writing my paragraph, but I want you to, I wanted to get you started with this. And if this seems like it's not going to work for you and you want to change it up and change the sentences, by all means, go ahead and do it, okay? And I will share with you my paragraph 3 tomorrow when I come back and show you what I came up with. Make sure that you complete your paragraph 3 before tomorrow so that we can go over it together, okay? And we're gonna be pretty much like sooner than later, we're gonna be done with our essay. You'll be so proud of it. Go ahead and take care of that. Make sure you finish. And again, label the top of your page because you are going to type this into a Google Doc and share it with your teacher. So as soon as you get a chance, we are reaching out to you and your parents to give you your information that you need so you can type it and send it to us as soon as you're able to get onto your email, okay? Thank you guys. Have a good night and good luck with your paragraph.